From Los Angeles to New York City, from Philadelphia to San Francisco, the movement to defund police departments across the country is growing. This as at least 12 other cities also brace for severe budget cuts, not seen in more than a decade. The result, some say, is a spike in violence nationwide. Days after the city council in Austin, Texas voted to slash $150 million from the police budget, 3 Cedar Park police officers, a suburb of the city, were shot on Sunday after a man barricaded himself with 3 of his family members.
I visited them in the hospital along with their families. They are all in stable condition and doing well.
The state's governor warning the cuts in police funding will pave the way for lawlessness. In Chicago, new video emerges showing a violent confrontation between Black Lives Matter protesters and police.
This group changed their appearance and began pushing our officers and eventually assaulting them.
One protester allegedly hitting a police officer repeatedly with a skateboard. The mayor of Chicago saying the attack on police officers was planned and that protesters came looking for a fight.
It's not spontaneous when you bring U-Haul trucks, cargo vans, and high-end robbery tools. We are determined to make sure that we get to the bottom of this and bring those responsible for this organized crime effort to justice.
Authorities in Chicago now monitoring social media sites for threats against officers and businesses.
What we want to do is expand our capacity in this space of looking at intelligence on open source.
And it's not just in Chicago. Violence now erupting in other major cities across the country as well. In New York City, more than 24 shootings in less than 48 hours. In Philadelphia, a mass shooting at a block party injures 3 teens and 2 others. Shots were also fired at police officers. 60 shell casings from several weapons were found on the scene, including rounds from an AR-15. On Sunday in Cincinnati, 18 people were shot, 4 killed in 4 different incidents.
Horrific and tragic that we have this much violence and potential for that much loss of life in our city.
Meanwhile, on Saturday, police in Stone Mountain, Georgia had to step in when militias and white supremacists faced off with hundreds of counter-protesters. A similar scene in Kalamazoo, Michigan, as fistfights erupted between members of an alleged racist group and counter-protesters. Police also had to intervene there. All this happening as a new study shows violent crimes on the rise nationwide. Murder rates in 20 major cities spiking by 37% between May and June of this year. Aggravated assaults also jumping by roughly the same amount during the same period. George Thomas, CBN News.